Hello, residents of MeepleTown. This is Dean, and today I'm going to be giving a kind of an overview of the Terraforming Mars app. And as most of the time, I'm not going to give all of the rules away, so I'm going to assume at least you have maybe some familiarity of the game. I will be going over some of the rules as we go, but this is not necessarily a tutorial. It's just to kind of give you an overview and just some of my thoughts on the app overall. So this is the main menu. I'm just going to join into a local game, and I'm going to do the corporate error rules, and I'll also do the variant. It's not the draft variant, just because I think that's the better way to play. If you're not familiar with the game, if you're just learning how to play, I do recommend probably using just the standard game without the corporate error rules, and then I also recommend probably doing the draft, not doing the draft variant. Now, this does not draft that the 10 cards at the beginning. It will draft the 4 cards in between each round. So we'll just create a game. I'm going to do a I'll just do a one player versus an AI, an easy AI. Again, I'm just going to show you kind of how this plays out, create the game, and we will join in. Now, again, because this isn't necessarily like a tutorial, I'm also not going to give the optimal moves. I'm not going to necessarily bore you with all of my decisions, but just know that typically when I'm going through these cards, especially at the beginning, figuring out my corporation and also figuring out the cards that I'm going to keep at the beginning of the game, that can be some of the longest decision making, not necessarily the best thing to watch in a video. So there you go. So this one is the beginner corporation. We'll go on to the other one. So Thorgate, it starts you with 1 energy production along with 48 credits. And then when you play a power card or the standard project power plant, you can pay 3 mega credits less for that, which is a pretty sweet corporation to start off with. This one just starts you off with a bunch of money. This is the credit core, which starts you off with 57 mega credits, and then after you pay for a card or standard project with a basic cost of 20 mega credits or more, you're going to gain 4 mega credits, which can be good in and of itself as well, especially starting off with a lot of money, but it really is hard to beat this, especially the effect on this, that when you play a power card or the standard project power plant, you're going to pay 3 mega credits less. So I'll stick with that one. And so right off the bat, I'm going to want to try to get ones that have the that symbol at the top, the energy symbol. So this one is going to decrease my mega credit production by 1 step and increase your energy production by 1 step. I think I will go ahead and keep that one. I'll just kind of go through here. You can spend 8 heat to increase your terraforming rating. This one is increase your plant production by 1 step. I do like to be able to do that. So I think I will keep that one. Now, just know that for each one I'm keeping, it's going to cost 3 mega credits. This one is going to increase your titanium production by 1 step and place a city on the tile and that reserve tile. I do like that one as well. It's titanium production, especially at the very beginning. This is going to decrease your energy production. I'm going to pass on that one. The peroxide power, decrease your mega credit production by 1 step and increase your energy production by 2 steps, which is pretty sweet, especially since that's going to cost me a little bit less. And this is going to allow you to get some stuff as a one-time event. I'll pass on that. And again, if you're looking at this thinking, wow, that was not the optimal move, you are probably right. This one is increase your heat production and energy production by 3 steps. It's cost 32, it'll cost me 3 less. Wow, that's pretty high. I'm going to keep that one too. I'm going to go back and maybe change some of the ones that I've already selected. The peroxide power, open city, that would actually be pretty good too to get right off the bat. I don't want to spend all of my money, however. But I think what I'll do, I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to start off with a lot of cards, probably more than I normally would start off with. This is going to keep, I'm keeping half of my cards, which for me, and I'm not great at this game, but I don't typically keep that many cards. The fueled generators is less it's not as good as the peroxide power. However, it's not going to cost me very much either. In fact, it's not going to cost me anything except the 3 at the very beginning. I think what I'll do, I'll just keep that. We'll just stick with that. So now that's going to be, yep, I'm going to keep all of those. That's going to be the cards that I start off with. And you're going to do that. You're going to play your actions, and you can play one of 2 actions, and then it's the next player's turn. You go back and forth like that until all players have passed, or in this case, both players have passed. And that's going to be the entire game. Now, if you're not familiar with this game, I've got to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. If you look off to the right side over here, you're going to see an oxygen count, and you're going to see a temperature count on the far right. Once those are raised all the way to the very beginning, and at the bottom of that, you're going to see a hex, a blue hex that says 0/9. That's how many ocean tiles have gone out onto the board. In this case, we don't have any out on the board, but once all 3 of those things have triggered, that's going to trigger the end of the game, and then you're going to add up the points that you have. Your terraforming rating, I mentioned that earlier. That is, for right now, we both started off at 20. They're at 23 right now. That's going to be your income that comes in every round, as well as points at the end of the game. So terraforming rating during the game equates to points, and then afterwards, equates to mega credits, and then after the game, it's going to equate to victory points. So I'm going to look at my cards here and decide what I'm going to play. I also, let me go out of here for just a second. If you look at the top, you're going to see standard projects. These are things that you can also pay to make happen. So you can get rid of cards for money. You can use the power plant, which again, that's cheaper for me to use to move up on your energy production. Asteroid to move up on the temperature, and yada, yada, yada. You don't need to necessarily know all that. And let's see, what do I want to do right now? What I would like to do is, I don't really have any mega credit production. And let's see. But what I would like to do is be able to get something going, right? I would like to get something going. So I think what I would do is, let's see, do this peroxide power plant, which is going to cost me 3 less to get that in play. I'm going to move down 1 on my mega credits. Now, what that means in this case is I'm going to be getting negative 1 mega credits per round. You are going to get 20 in this case. Again, going to my terraforming rating on the left side, I get 20, so that's going to be 20 minus 1, which is going to be 19. However, I will get some energy, which is helpful. Now I can play another card if I want to. It would be nice. Oh, let's see. I don't necessarily want to spend any more of losing any more mega credits, so I'm not going to put out my fuel generators. I will, let's see. Yeah, I'll put this card out. It's going to increase my plant step by 1. It'll cost me 6 mega credits. And now what I'm going to need to do, that'll be the end of that turn. What I'm going to want to do in between rounds when we draft is try to get some cards that boost up my mega credits, because that is what I'm going to need. Now, there are some options. I can do any standard projects, which probably what I could have done is built a city, and that would have boosted up my mega credits by 1. I don't think I'm going to do that. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is just pass. That way I'll go into the next rounds with more mega credits, because right off the bat, I don't have very many. The purple player is, they passed as well, so now we're doing production. And so I'll have a lot more money to work with this next round, but what I'm really looking to do is boost up my mega credits, so I'll have more money to be able to spend on things. All right, now we're going to draft 4 cards, so we're each going to start off with 4, and we're just going to go back and forth and keep 1 card at a time. This is, let's see, that's after I pay for a standard project. That's going to give me 3 mega credits. AI Central is going to let me draw 2 cards. You have to have 3 science tags, which is the tag that's at the top right hand up there. I'm not going to be able to use that right now. This one is 5 science tags, and it just gives you 4 points, which is a lot of points. And then this one is going to increase your titanium production by 1 step. I think I'll keep that one. I'll be honest, I don't really care that much for the other ones right now. if you are familiar with this game, you need to know that this is a fun app. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, uh, the games that I've played, because I'm not an expert at this game at all, I've played against mostly the easy AI, and I win every time. I need to bump that up. I haven't tried any of the higher difficulties, hit higher difficulty level, probably because I wanted to really just get some more practice and more familiarity with how the cards play with each other. But I still really have enjoyed this app, even against the AI that I've been playing. Let's see, this one lets me place a greenery tile on an area reserved for an ocean. Normally there's blue outlined spaces in the middle of the board, and those are only for oceans. This is going to let me put a greenery tile, which actually I kind of like that. This one is lets me put 1 microbe on this card. You start off, you add 3 microbes to the card, and or you can remove 3 microbes to increase your terraforming rating by 1 step. I actually kind of like that, just because increasing my terraforming rating also increases the amount of money I'm getting each round. So I think I'm going to keep that one. And it starts off with 3, which is exactly what you need to move up your terraforming rating up 1. So I'll keep that one. Back over to me, I'm getting the same cards that I had. I think what I'm going to do is just keep this AI Central card, and then it defaults to give me that last card that was available from the other player. Now what you do, you drafted those, but you still have to pay for the ones that you want to keep. You have to pay for those patents. So I think what I'm going to do is I will keep the one that's going to bump up my titanium production, and let's see, the AI Central one is going to let me draw 2 cards for an action, which is really nice, but you have to have 3 science tags. You can look down here at the bottom right, click on the tag button, and that's going to show you how many tags of each of those you have. Now I have 2 power tags, a microbe and a building, but I have 0 science tags, and there's not any science tags in the cards that I'm going to be keeping. So I think what I'll do is pass right there, and I'll just keep the first 2 there, hit done, and then we're ready for the next round. And I'll kind of talk you through this. I'll just play through one more round and then give you an idea. There's not really much that we're doing yet in the way of putting anything out onto the planet there, but maybe I could do something to show you that, how you're going to get points. But I think that I think this is actually, going back to kind of the review and some of my thoughts, this is actually one of my favorite app games right now. I really think that. I think it's a lot of fun. I think the layout is really good. Now, I will say this. I'm playing currently on an iPad. I initially played this game on my phone, and I did not think it was very good. I just don't think that it is made to play on the phone. It's harder to see. If I was just going to play this on my phone, I would probably give it a pass. However, if you have a tablet, I do recommend checking this out. I also think it's available for Steam, so if it's if you have a computer that you want to play this on, it might be Windows only. I really can't remember that part. But if it's available for Steam and you want to do that, I think that could be worth it as well. I just don't think it's worth playing on the phone unless you are diehard, you know all of the cards, and you really, really love this game. I think it's more of a challenge. So, all right, what I'm going to do is pay for this Vesta shipment. This is going to increase my titanium production by 1 step. That's going to help me in the future. And it's going to help me in the future to be able to put some of those cards out there. If you look, some of these cards are going to have a tag on there that shows you that you can pay titanium instead of the regular mega credit cost, and that will be a discount of 3 mega credits for every titanium you spend. So I think I'm going to skip my second action here. I'm not going to pass yet. I just want to see what the purple player is going to do. They went ahead and placed a greenery tile out on the board. And I think, yeah, they're the Eco Line. So Eco Line lets them place a greenery tile out there for 7 greenery instead of 7 plants instead of 8, which is what the normal route to go is. And they also put one of the ocean tiles up there. They're moving up quite faster than I am. So they already have 25 as their terraforming rating. Every time when they put the greenery tile out there, that boosted up the oxygen. Anytime you do any of those things, boosting the oxygen or the temperature or putting out an ocean, that's going to increase your terraforming rating by 1. They put out an ocean and put out a greenery tile that time. So they are doing pretty stinking good, especially when you're looking at how poorly I am doing right now. Let's see. I don't really have many cards. No, that's not true. I'm going to play this nitrate reducing bacteria. I'll use that. And then, yep, okay, so I'm going to get 3 resources onto that card. Then if you click at the bottom, it's going to show you your actions, and I can now turn in 3 of those bacteria to increase my terraforming rating by 1, which will help me to produce more mega credits. Let's see. Yep, I'll use that action. And I can place 1 microbe on this card or pay 3 to increase, and I'm just going to pay 3, I believe. So I'll confirm that. Go back to the layout for a second. So I mentioned the standard projects. You're going to hit that button right there to display all those. There's also the awards that once you have completed any of these, you can pay the amount listed on there to gain those points. There's also milestones, and you can pay for these milestones, and whoever it comes in first is going to get the 5 victory points at the end of the game for each category that was paid for. I think, you know, because if you played the board game of Terraforming Mars, you know that there's a decent amount going on, and it can be a really big table hog with everything. All of those things are on the board, and it's easy to see, but when it comes to an iPad or a phone, you can't put all of that in this one screen, and so I think it's laid out really, really well. I'm actually pretty impressed by this. I'm going to end my turn. I actually think I'm going to pass my round, probably. They passed their turn. I only have 10 mega credits, so I think I would pass as well. Then we would get our production, move up the generation, switch the starting player for that round, and then you just keep going like that. Well, after we draft our cards. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Just wanted to give you an idea of how the app plays out. If this is a game that you enjoy, I highly recommend picking this up, especially for the tablet version. And if it's a game that you are interested in and have not played, I think the tablet version is I think you could learn the game pretty well on this. I think it's going to be pretty intuitive. So anyway, that's going to do it for me and the overview of the Terraforming Mars app. Thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at MeepleTown Games, and connect with us on the MeepleTown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.